Hey guys, it's Wayne Santos, one of the editors here at CGM, and for this week's Sound Off, I'm sounding off against Square Enix. That's right, Square, the guys who have been messing up Final Fantasy for the last few years, have recently announced, well actually they haven't announced it, Amazon has outed it for them, that Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition is going to be coming out, and it's going to be $60, which is basically full price retail for a game that came out about 2 years ago. Now, I am not one of those people that is like wholeheartedly against the remastered bandwagon. It's like I think that some games definitely benefit from this. I'm actually looking forward to the recently announced Resident Evil remake, but remakes really benefit those games that, you know, it's like have not been out for a while, or in the case of something like, you know, The Last of Us Remastered, if you're going to be coming out with something that was released recently, it makes a little bit more sense with recent titles to put it out at a price point that is not as expensive as when the game originally released, because it's old, but not ancient, and still easily accessible. I mean, when you look at something like The Last of Us, or more relevantly in this case, Sleeping Dogs, you can find original copies of that game for the PS3 and the Xbox 360 at average retailers for, you know, $30 or sometimes even far less. If you're playing the game on PC, you, depending on what Steam sale you were actually going for, could pick the game up for less than 10 bucks. So, for Square Enix to be coming out with this game now for the PS4 and the Xbox One at $60, although they are claiming that it's going to be coming with like $85 worth of DLC, quote unquote, that really does seem like you're trying to, you know, push the wallet of the consumer as far as it'll go. It's it really does smack of being a sleazy cash grab. I mean, like, no offense to the Sleeping Dogs game, I actually think it is great. I really enjoyed it, and I would recommend it to anybody. But having said that, we're really not sure, you know, it's like exactly how much of a definitive edition this is going to be. We've seen what they did with Tomb Raider, and that was pretty impressive. But again, they released that at $60, which was actually $70 in Canada, and that price point, $70 Canadian, was a really, really bitter pill to swallow. I guess it must have sold pretty well for them, the Tomb Raider version, because now they're doing it again with Sleeping Dogs, but I really don't know how many people are going to bite this time around. Like, Tomb Raider, that's got a lot of history behind it. It's a big franchise. You know, it's like the previous game sold extremely well, so there is an audience that's at least partially built in. Sleeping Dogs did not have that. It did not sell very well when it first came out. It got a lot of critical acclaim, so I guess Square is hoping that all of that positive word of mouth and the positive reviews that came out in the wake of the release, maybe some of that will carry over and people will be curious to try it. But I really don't see a game like this doing that well at $60, especially when they more or less sent it out to die, and it's going to be going out in October, which is when a ton of other big, high-profile, brand-new games are also going to be coming out. So, to Square, I would say, if you are going to release something like Sleeping Dogs, which I do think everybody should play, and I do think that it would benefit from some degree to a remastering, if you can get it up to 1080p and 60 frames per second, you've got to price it at $40, or better yet, $30. Asking people to pay $60 for a game that was not too popular to begin with is probably pushing your luck, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if you see some blowback as a result of this. Think about it. See ya. And for you guys that are still into Dead Tree products, it's like, if you'll check this out, we've got the lovely buyer's guide, which is pretty much what you would think. You know, it's like we went to the trouble of messing around with all the good games and the bad games so that, well, you don't have to play the bad games, and you only know what the good games are. This one will tell you where your hard-earned money can be well spent, as opposed to experiencing horrible, horrible buyer's remorse when you go out and buy something and realize it really wasn't very good at all. So if you actually want to know what's worth your money, this is your answer right here.